the main character is breaking into a house with a lockpick, and they're like showing you how the lockpick goes into the lock and picks it, but they censor it by blurring it.
Imagine you're watching a hentai where they blur just the
That's what this is.
But that's what this is with a lockpick instead.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 26 of Life is Daijoubu. Brought to you by your boys, the hosts, Cole, that's me, hello, and Skylar over there is laughing at me, and Thane.
His classic face. That's just
a classic Thane.
When you think of Thane, you just think of that face.
What if I hold this face the whole time? Like,
I'd be impressed.
I think your cheeks will start twitching.
You already gave up. Guys. Okay, so yeah, we got an episode today. Today we're going to be talking about Suzume, the anime movie by Makoto Shinkai.
I should have probably rewatched. I should probably skim through the movie before we watched
I
it.
rewatched it in my head before this.
I just looked over my notes. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I didn't like parts of the movie.
Oh gosh. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. But before we talk about that, we're gonna do our little news segment like we always do. Mind you, this news segment will be a bit scuffed because we are pre-recording this, so you're gonna be hearing old news. And if something crazy broke in the next 2 weeks, then I'm sorry we did not cover that.
Do we have a Twitter?
Technically, we do, but I'm not gonna post it.
Have we posted on that?
I used to.
Oh yeah. Twitter kind of sucks. Sorry, we don't post on it much.
But it's just you don't really have exposure on Twitter unless your tweet somehow goes viral for some reason.
Yeah.
And when I'm just tweeting pictures of anime, I should just say I should tweet a picture of Jujutsu Kaisen and say this anime is bad. That would do it. That'd get us.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And then
We'll get traction.
And then I'll be one of the top comments like, look at this beep.
And it's just a
Some
picture of
slur.
your thumb.
Yeah.
So we got some news stories. I've got two. These guys said they had at least one, so we'll talk about that. And then we'll also talk about our seasonal shows, especially because this is one of the last episodes before the end of the season. We should have figured that out first, now that I'm actually thinking about this.
I think we have 4 weeks from now.
From now?
From now. I have, because some of my anime, I'm on episode 8.
Like recording date or episode upload?
From now where our current present time, I have most of my anime have 4 episodes left. They're 8 and 7.
So then theoretically, we don't do your episode and we just do the end of the season review.
I think we actually talked about it. I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
so hold off on Skylar's again. Sorry, everybody who's looking forward to what Skylar's gonna do.
I'm cooking
I'll
up.
give you a hint. The main character has something in common with Sky. That's your hint. Anyway, let's get into the news section. Skylar's confused about what I said.
Were you saying...
Don't say it.
Don't say it. Don't spoil it.
Is it because he's buff?
Skylar started working out for a month and he thinks he's freaking Hulk Hogan.
You can see my boobies. I hate boob pockets, by the way. Changed my mind.
Boob pockets are great.
Shirt pockets. They're just called shirt pockets.
Yeah.
Unless you
they're just
let's
shirt
cut it
pockets.
out, rip it, and rip the Velcro off, and it shows
Yeah, and see, your
perfect
boob
man titty.
sticking through it.
It's just got a flap, and then you fold the flap up and flop your boob out.
Open it up. See what's in there?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
I'm pretty sure that's shirts they made where they go, and it's just nipples exposed.
The girl's got to breathe, dude.
I'd love to see you wearing one of those things someday.
Yes, please. And it's not a wardrobe malfunction.
So
It's
a
a
video where it's
wardrobe
function.
I can help you with that.
So, the news stories that I have for you all, now that we're finally getting to the news, the first thing I have is Reincarnated as a Slime is finally getting a Season 3 confirmed.
I still need to watch the movie, but...
How do you feel about that, Thane?
I haven't watched it yet.
You don't have any feelings about it.
Why are you making that face? I have not watched it
you said
yet.
Season 3.
Yeah. Season 3 was announced.
The freak did I watch? Oh, I think Season 1 and 2 had 24 episodes each.
Probably.
That's
I don't
what it
know.
was.
I've never once seen the show either. I just know that you get reincarnated as a slime or something.
Yeah.
Lord Rimuru.
Spoilers.
It's his name.
Spoiler, I didn't know that.
Now you do.
Oh
Now
my
you have
gosh,
to
this
watch.
guy's ruining
I've
the
ruined
whole
the whole
t-
show. You have to watch now.
The television's ruined. Cancel TV. Okay, next
Cancel
next
your
bit of news.
subscriptions. It's over.
Next bit of news is there's a show coming out next season, the summer season. It's a anime original by Toei Animation called Girls Band Cry.
Oh, that's just Bocchi the Rock.
Sounds like it, doesn't it?
Is it just
They're just
another-
like, oh, let's do K-On, Bocchi the Rock, girls band who cry. We're just
Yeah.
girls in a band. It's a great
Freaking
formula.
Bang Dream.
Put them
That's another
together.
one.
Got
Well-
yourself an anime.
And like, as much as there's a meme about that, right? Like, technically, this would have been in like production before Bocchi even aired, if we're being honest. But I do like the theory, especially because they have the word "cry" in there, and Bocchi is
Crybaby.
not really a crybaby.
She's just got anxiety out the
Anxiety.
wazoo.
And so you know that there's going to be something going on if the word "cry" is in the title.
Actually, they took the concept of K-On! And I think Sunrise made one called Bang Dream, which is just Love Live, but with rock band, with girls.
How many anime are there that is a group of girls playing rock
It's an
music?
entire genre. It's called the idol genre or the rock girl genre.
I mean, like, you even have a smidgen of that in Angel Beats if we're really getting to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, my girl has a couple episode where she plays the guitar. I think it's just one episode.
What's her name?
My girl.
She's not your girl.
She's my girl.
not even your
I
girl.
don't remember. I like that anime. I can't remember any
I've
of the
seen it
characters'
once like
names.
3 years ago. Give me a break.
Yeah, I
All I
don't know her
remember
name.
is
Get wrecked.
What? She was never you never proclaimed her as my girl, though.
all I remember is
I can still say she's my girl, not know her
Do you
name.
remember the name of their band?
Our girl.
It's called Girls Dead Monster, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
And they shortened it by calling it Go Demo or something.
remember
like
the
that.
white-haired girl's name. Her name was Kaede or Angel.
What's
That's what
her?
they called her.
What's her? It's Kanade.
Kanade. Sorry, I get those two
And
mixed
her
up.
last
Kaede,
name is
Kanade.
Tachibana.
I don't remember.
What does she
Tachibana
like
part.
for food? What's her favorite food?
Beans. She's full of beans.
Full beans.
The fact you made me laugh, I'm gonna let you get the pass on that
I
one.
just
We have
love
to
the keyboard
explain
on
that
my
now.
lap. Showing
Xenoblade
behind the
3,
scenes.
Trying to
Xenoblade
cover
3
something.
expansion. The characters
Yeah.
say, "I'm full of beans." It's
I
like a
love
British
it.
reference.
Xenoblade's the best game ever made.
Yeah.
Go play it if you haven't.
So,
You all like anime. You're here.
well, you
guys
would
should
say
play
that until
Xenoblade.
Tears of the Kingdom, right?
No, Xenoblade's still number one.
Okay.
That's subjective, thing.
Thane, why'd you go down without a fight?
I'll just keep that to my heart.
He doesn't like sharing.
That's all the news I had.
Yeah.
I
Well,
only had those two things. Skylar, do you have anything before
Thane,
Thane?
let me do mine quick
explain
because
some
I
stuff.
think yours is
Because
going to be
Thane's got
more
something
in-depth.
actually
Yeah.
interesting for what
Yeah.
it sounds like.
My only two news things is
Sorry, not to diminish your thing, by the way. I just realized I called yours not interesting. But if it makes you feel better, I called mine not interesting as well.
these are not interesting at
Oh
all.
gosh,
this
no,
is,
Scott.
this is definitely one of those. Well, I guess I'll say it because I don't have anything else.
Oh no.
But two of my anime got delayed by a week, which this is behind already. But Hell's Paradise got delayed by a week, and so did Kamikatsu.
Kamikatsu again?
The God in a Godless World, something like that.
Oh, the trash one.
The trash one.
It's
Yeah.
the I became God's like servant or something, right?
It's blah 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 in a godless world. I don't know
Isn't
what
it
the blah
like-
blah blah is.
There's not a god in this godless world.
I just say Kamikatsu. It's easier.
I just have the CGI is bad and funny.
Yeah, yeah. It's a freaking trash
I saw
pile.
they
the
had that freaking CGI monster, which I gotta admit the design was unique, but the execution was.
The one that kills me is the dude. They just filmed a tractor, put a weird filter over the top, and they just animated the guy's head to follow.
They
the
knew what they were
body.
doing. They're probably like, people are already clowning on us. Let's just shortcut it.
Oh, I think it's hilarious.
You know, I was thinking about this. So, we'll get to yours in a second, thing. I'm sorry. But, like, there has to be, like, a moment when an animation studio knows that they're just done with the
Yeah.
series. But they have to finish it, right? They have to
Yeah.
complete their series. And so, like, it's got to be by episode 3 they know if they're going to have a sequel, right? By episode 3, they should know if there's things
Yeah.
popping up where they're going to do a sequel season. And then like probably by episode like 4, 5, or 6, they're probably just like, yeah, we don't need to care about this anymore at all.
Yeah.
Right?
But see, with this one though, is I think and I don't know. I think it's based off a light novel. I could be wrong, but
They usually are.
I think they just leaned so much into the comedy aspect that it all works because it's
Okay.
like this is just ironic and it's hilarious and I love it.
So yeah, because that's the thing they do in a comedy manga. Like suddenly they like have live action weird filtered, but like they have like some kind of animation thing.
Yeah, this
in
show
there.
does not take itself seriously at all. And yet it'll have like hype moments where it feels like you're watching a show and you're like, what the freak? This is sick. Like I was going to drop it, but then episode 4 hit and it was just like, that was a cool fight. I'm in. I am in. And then I saw the tractor guy and I was sold.
All right, Thane, what do you got for us? What's your news story?
So, you guys know about the work culture in Japan where like
It's rough.
people are overworked. There's even a word for it called karoshi, which means overworked death. And people have been fighting. Well, there's at least for the anime industry, there's a organization to help combat that, and it's called the NAFCA, which is an association for improving awareness of animator working conditions. And they made a statement on Twitter. I'm not going to read the full statement, but it's like, hey, we founded this organization to help people like not get overworked and to like improve the condition of animators to like so that the quality can maintain, but we also want to like be there for the workers pretty much.
Was it founded by animators? Do you know?
Yeah, it was founded by former A1 Pictures and Amplex executive Masuo Ueda.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Now that you're bringing this up, I did hear about this, but I didn't know much about it.
Yeah, and they had a bunch of other people in the industry make speeches like supporting it. So this is good. This is a good step towards, kind of breaking down like overworking culture. 'Cause like you see in America, like it's like, hey, you need to take your vacation hours. You got a lot built. Like my boss said, hey, you got like over 100 hours in vacation hours to take if you want to take any. It's like, yeah, I'll take some.
That's a couple weeks worth of not working.
Yeah. I only took one because I wanted also another one for actual like family reunion stuff. But yeah, it's good that Japan is actually like doing something about at least one aspect of the industry is doing something about overworking, and I hope it really succeeds. And I hope other aspects it also flows into other thing. There might be others. If you want to comment saying, "Oh, there's this really cool one," then you can. But yeah, overall, it's a good step. It's a good step into the right direction, and we won't have any people just dying while they're walking home after a not long night of work, or dying right at the office, and then someone opens like, "Hey, Taroshi!" Oh my God, he's dead.
Yeah, this is probably pretty good. I hope that it bleeds over into the manga. Creator
manga.
section as well.
I think manga really needs it because like you hear stories of like individual creators just being like, "Oh man, I had to take several hiatuses because I was just overstressed and overworked."
Yeah,
it does affect the manga a bit, but like people like need their rest. Also, it affects VTubers too, because VTubers, for some viewers who watch, it's like, hey, I had to take a break because of health related incidents.
I will say though, it does seem like the publishers, like Shueisha, for example, it seems like they're a lot more understanding about that stuff than they ever had been, just based on other things I'd seen. Like, granted, I'm no expert. I've literally just watched anime. Like, I read Bakuman, and that's where my information of how manga is created came from.
There's an anime called Shirobako, which like in one of the first episodes, they like go to get stills from an animator who's like working from home, and they find her passed out in their apartment because she's like working so hard. It's like, wow, they touch on that stuff.
Yeah, it's always crazy about how overworking is such a huge thing in Japan, and like it's just become ingrained with their culture, really. I mean, you see that and just show if it's something that's like a prominent thing in a lot of their shows that we watch, you know that it's I guess I could call it a problem, but it's a culture thing, so it's kind of hard to call it a problem. In our eyes, in these Western American eyes, I would see it as a problem. I think overworking's not the best, especially if you're going way too much than you ever really should.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And one thing I wanted to comment on, especially with the anime industry, and like Cole already mentioned, we're not experts, but I do love the direction that anime is going as far as new popular shows aren't weekly releases indefinitely. They do seasons and then they'll take a break.
Oh, yes. I think that's a phenomenal thing. Like, we're not getting a Naruto kind of thing.
Yeah, we're not getting Naruto, One Piece. One Piece is like one of the last relics of doing
Pokemon's
that.
the same,
Pokemon,
too. Pokemon is also an
It might
indefinite
change
kind of thing.
depending on this anime, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm speaking for, like, newer popular shows.
Yeah.
Like, Boruto is still connected with Naruto, in my opinion. Pokemon is still kind of its own thing that's been going for 20 plus years.
I remember Black Clover.
Boruto, like, I guess it was weekly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But right now they're on hiatus, so I guess
Which
they
is
get
probably-
a break.
yeah, it's
They
a good
ended.
thing.
Yeah, they like had said it's part 1, just like with Shippuden.
But think about, like, some of the newer popular banger ones,
Yeah.
like Demon Slayer has a couple seasons, although I think they took a little bit of a break,
Yeah.
but I
They
feel
took,
like
a
these
one season off
I feel
between
like
these
these
ones.
two seasons they were making
yeah.
Yeah,
together, but the
probably.
first season came out a couple years ago, and then they
Totally.
had a huge gap.
Yeah.
Same with like My Hero. My Hero does a season, then they'll take a break.
Yeah, I think
do
My
another
Hero was
season.
the one to really kick this off because it's the first like big shonen show I saw that actually did that. Like, oh hey, we did 13 episodes. Now we're gonna take a break. It's like, wow, a show this popular and you're doing that.
That
That's pretty
said,
crazy.
and not to diminish what you brought up,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean that these studios are also taking a break.
Yeah, they are working
They're
on
still
other
going
things.
to another
yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're still jumping from show
Granted,
to show.
the directors and stuff will be able to probably take a break because they're not directing a show that season potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, they might be. Who knows? They might go on to something else every
You're a
season,
wage
but some
slave.
might not as well.
When
Some
you're a
might take
wage
a break.
slave, you don't deserve breaks or something.
Yeah, the actual animators themselves, those are
Yeah.
the people that, like, they don't really get too many breaks, and that's the I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, and
yeah.
like we already mentioned, we don't know how it works, but for me anyway, I prefer it this way as far as how the shows are released, because I don't like filler. I don't know if most people do or not, but it's like
Depends
you're
on if the
getting all of the good parts. You're getting basically the manga one for one.
It depends on if the filler is actually really well written, which most cases it is not. The animation quality
Except for
is
Robo
not.
Naruto. And that'll take us into our next thing. We're gonna talk about our seasonal shows, and we're gonna talk about one show in specific, and we're gonna mention another show that we wanted to bring up, but we didn't want to go too long, so we're just gonna mention a show and then talk about one of our shows. So let's start with Thane. Thane, what's one show you're watching or want to bring up or whatever?
I'm watching Magical Destroyers. It's the one I tried to describe, and you guys, what the hell is this show?
Oh yeah, I saw a clip of
Yeah.
this, so I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I figured out, it's kind of like a show that Gainax or Trigger would have made, like Gainax back in the
Yes.
day.
Yeah.
But but I looked up, it's like this has got to be some connection, like someone former at Gainax or Trigger has had to make it. So far, I haven't seen anything like that. It's just spearheaded by some, I think, fashion designer who made it, but it definitely has that vibe. It's not in terms of like, if it's as good as a Gainax show, I'd say it kind of falls short, but it's still pretty fun. I think if people gave it a shot, it'd probably be good. I like these weird shows. And then a show I wanted to mention, because it's back, after kind of unceremoniously being delayed because of one of the people's deaths on there, unfortunately. Golden Kamuy came back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's as good as ever. It's funny because like where episode 6 ended, it seemed like where the season ended, and episode 7 picks up. It seems like the beginning of a season,
Like
so it's
another arc
perfect.
kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's perfect right there.
Did they
That's cool.
re-air those first episodes?
Yeah, they had to re-air those in Japan. But unlike me, where I just kind of jumped in because I wasn't gonna watch them again every week.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
And two other shows that have yet to come back is Nier Automata and Ayakashi Triangle.
Wait, it still didn't finish?
No, there's no report of them coming back or.
Yikes.
Welcome to all the people that liked that to the Uncle
Yeah.
from Another World
Yeah.
situation.
Was
Yeah.
So
that
that got
6
two
months?
shows.
Oh, at least 6 months.
Um,
That was our first season of doing this that I'd
Yeah.
watched that,
Finished last season?
and I finished it last season.
Dang.
and unlike Golden Kamuy, which like they just re-aired them and stuff and came back, Ayakashi Triangle, no word. I don't know what's going on with Nier Automata. A1 Pictures is working on Mashill, so it's, I don't know, man. It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Who knows? Well, thank you, sir. Let's move into Skylar's anime. Let's see what he's got to say.
So the one that I wanted to mention, because I feel like I talked about it last time, but I don't remember. I'm just going to mention it. Is Dead Mount Deathplay. It's an isekai, but the first episode has a twist, and I don't want to spoil it.
That's because it's got to have a twist if it's the first episode of an isekai.
Yeah.
How else are they going to get people to
Yeah.
watch?
Yeah. It's
It's not an isekai where it's like a fantasy, but it's isekai where like it's in the modern world.
It goes from
It's a
fantasy,
reverse.
from fantasy to modern, but that's not really the twist. Although that is a twist,
You
but
guys are both watching it?
Yeah.
it's the first couple episodes I really liked, and where it's at now, like it's swimming in sevens. Like it's
Yeah.
not, it's not amazing, but I still think it's fun, and I'll keep watching. But the one I wanted to talk about is called Ao no Orchestra, or I believe it's Blue Orchestra, is the full English title. Man, it's really fun. It's about a kid who plays violin, but he stops playing violin because his dad cheats on his mom. This is all in the first
Oh.
episode, by the way. Yeah, it's a lot. But anyway, he meets this girl, and she wants to learn how to play violin, so he somehow gets roped into being her teacher, and it goes from their junior high, now they're into high school, and it's kind of their relationship growing, but also this kid trying to fall back in love with music. It's Your Lie in April. It follows that a little bit.
I was going to say, is it just Your Lie in April?
I like it. I like it, okay? I'm a couple episodes behind because I've just been busy. We've
Does he
been
wear
moving and
glasses?
stuff. No.
Okay.
But he's kind of an emo boy.
Does he make karaoke songs?
Maybe. We don't know yet. I gotta keep watching it. Yeah, those are mine.
Nice. Before I mention mine, I wanted to mention this as well because I forgot. I was going to do this in the news section, but I forgot. I think it was 2 episodes ago. We mentioned how there's a new anime that was announced. The 365 Days Till the Marriage is getting an anime adaptation. It's a manga. And I said on that episode that, yeah, I'll probably end up reading that. Well, I'm here to report that I did end up reading that. I got caught up, and I loved it. Really good. Really fun. I'd recommend it if you like Wosekoi. If you like Wotakoi or Nezikoi, that's what I made them
Just
bang.
banged. They banged.
If you like either of those, like an adult romantic comedy where it's adults and not high schoolers or even middle schoolers at times, like you want something more mature, this is a good one. Highly recommend. Anyway, so the show that I actually wanted to talk about, well, I guess I'll do my mention one first. It's Yamada-kun to level 999, or My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 99. Stupid freaking name, but man, am I loving this show. It's another rom-com, and the main girl's also an adult, so that's a win. The boy's not. He's a nice girl, but we'll just put.
We don't focus on that. We focus on the good part.
But I'm really enjoying it. It's honestly like a rom-com, but like also slice of life. I mean, granted, that's what they all are. It's a terrible explanation, but it's not focused on the romance completely. It also deals with like a group of people in a guild and like their relationships with each other and just having a good friendships. It's really cool. It honestly reminds me of The Guild, the web series from way back in the day with Felicia Day. It's got a little bit of that in my mind in it. Were you going to say anything?
Yeah, that's where Felicia Day pretty much got her start.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I decided to look it up. Ayakashi Triangle's coming back in July.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Nier Automata, nothing.
No date. No nothing.
Yeah.
So the show that I wanted to talk about and actually to bring up is It's my trash show. It's
My trash show.
I got it. Yes. It's I got a cheat skill in another world and it became overpowered in the real world too. Ironically, it's also an isekai that goes back and forth between the real world and the fantasy world. So it's ironic that you brought that up as well, Sky. But holy cow, is this the most like I want to be the main character kind of show that's ever existed. Literally nothing goes bad for this guy. Not one thing. He has no problems, never has an issue. Everything goes into his lap, especially the girls.
You know, I guess like if you think about it, the trash show that I'm watching, I guess people, depending on the mouse score, would be Magical Destroyers, but I think it's misunderstood personally.
Yeah, mine's not. Mine's just garbage.
Yeah.
And I can't stop watching.
Tastes yummy.
It tastes yummy.
I guess if you also say Mash Shill's garbage, you can, but I like that one too.
You can like
I don't really-
garbage.
You
I don't
like
really have
garbage? Yeah.
much
I'm
shows
all
I
for liking
consider
garbage.
like maybe other people
Trash
consider them garbage, but I don't really. I'm just enjoying them. I'm just a man who enjoys. Oh yeah, you want to mention in My Home Hero how they freaking censored a lockpick?
Sure. So there's the latest episode I watched. I haven't seen this in an anime yet. Like to be
I
honest,
haven't either. This is so
I
bizarre.
haven't seen any censorship in an anime that I've watched ever. I think
in shows with like a lot of gore, I like see when they block it out. Like Terraformers was a meme for a while.
we watched a show together, all three of us, called Chainsaw Man.
Uh-huh.
It's the bloodiest effing show
Yeah.
I've seen ever. And there's a part in the latest episode of My Home Hero where the main character is breaking into a house with a lockpick, and they're like showing you how the lockpick goes into the lock and picks it, but they censor it by blurring it.
Imagine you're watching a hentai where they blur just the dick.
Uh-huh.
That's what this
But
is.
that's what this is with a lockpick instead.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I was like, wait, are they blurring this because it's phallic looking? No, that doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. But it's
They're-
like he's explaining how to pick a lock. So I was like,
But the thing
I
is,
guess
like,
they're censoring
crime.
a crime.
they're censoring a crime, but that's the thing. You could still see what the pick lock is. Like they're trying to censor the object, but it's like, does he describe
Well,
the
you can
object?
you can still tell what the penis
Yeah.
is in the hentai.
Yeah, so you can tell still what the lockpick is. It's like if he describes it, they should just put a big thing in, like at the top that says TV whatever does not condone these actions. It's like there you go.
Don't break into
Yeah.
people's houses.
I remember the one. Yeah.
That's the censorship.
It's like this
Well-
this is fiction.
Now that you bring that up, the most recent episode of Oshinoko dealt with suicide.
Yeah,
And at the very end of that episode, it brings up like a hotline, like, "Hey, suicide can be scary. Like, if
Yeah.
you know anybody like dealing with this, like, here's some numbers you can call or whatever."
yeah, and like
And so, like, that feels like the more appropriate way to do something like that.
but I don't think there's a hotline for getting your house broken
Yeah.
into. It's just 911.
well, it's 911. That reminds me of in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders. Like in the TV broadcast, they censored Jotaro smoking, and it's like,
Was it because he was a minor smoker?
yeah, it's like, like
Just make it
again,
a lollipop.
just say, or a donut, like in
Classic
Bayonetta 3.
4 kids.
Yeah, or just say it's like we do not condone underage smoking. That's all you have to do. But like, back to Oshinoko, that actually happened. Like that, I think that was based off of real cases.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah,
That stuff happens all the time.
yeah,
I mean, it's not just exclusive to
Yeah.
Japan either, though. That
Yeah.
stuff will happen in the West as well.
yeah. It happens. Like,
Don't send death threats, you effers. Don't
yeah,
do it.
death
Not
threats I do
nice.
not condone. Like,
Even if you don't like people.
I can defend some edgy stuff online, but assume when someone says like straight up, I will kill you. No,
The
no,
ones
no.
that, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think all death threats are wrong. But the ones I don't understand is when you go after an actor or actress because they played their role either too
Too
good
good.
or too bad. Because it's like,
freaking
bro, they're not like when they went after the actress that played Abby because
Yeah.
she acts the person in the
Or
story.
even going to like Star Wars, the Rose character.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason for that, people.
I don't
Um,
understand that at
I
all.
remember the freaking Falcon and Winter Soldier, they had a guy who's like was supposed to inherit Captain America, and he was just a douche in the show. They went after the actor, and like he didn't have social media. He's like, I don't have social media. I don't get why people. I'm just playing a role. That's what he said. It's like, yeah, he's just playing a role. Like, hate the character, not the person.
People,
Yeah.
I've just decided this isn't the majority.
The more
by the
toxic
way.
the fan base, the more like people want to harm somebody.
Well, it's
or
just like
something.
there needs to be a disconnect. You need
Yeah.
to understand that there is reality and there's fiction, and actors and actresses that they're real people.
Yeah.
They're acting. That's the fictitious part. They're real people. Like, you don't want people sending you death threats. Don't be a dick, man. If everybody
Yeah.
just lived by that freaking law.
And yeah, it's mostly on Twitter where mental illness runs rampant, man. I've seen some mentally ill people on there just spout some stuff, and it's like, go outside.
I mean, I think
Get
it's
some
just,
therapy.
Just the internet in general. But
Yeah.
we're not your therapist. We're here to talk about anime.
Speaking of anime, let's go back to my
Yeah.
show.
Oh, you weren't done?
I wasn't done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I was
Yeah.
fine with the tangent. I was just gonna talk more about my trash.
Oh,
So I said, where was I left? I was talking about how, like, literally every girl that ever shows up that appears in the show is just falls in love with them instantly. The most recent episode I watched, it's not the current one. I'm one behind right now. But the girl for this episode, the new girl for this episode, he took a bath with her.
Let's go.
And, like, he's portrayed as, like, this most nicest person in the whole freaking world. Would not hurt a fly kind
but
of
he's
dude.
an accidental pervert.
No, he's not a pervert at all.
Okay.
He's
No,
just
like,
a good
like
person.
An accidental one where it's like,
Not
I didn't
even.
mean- oh,
not
wow.
even.
They didn't.
He's just honestly just a good person. There's no weird
Nice guy
anime
Greg.
tropes like that. Just good guy person. And I'm
good
just
guy
like,
Greg.
good guy Greg. But like, they go out of their way to make this person like the number one best person like ever existed as such. It's practically Jesus, but an anime character.
You
And
said,
like everybody would want to be him. Like, you think Kirito when you think of like characters that like people kind of portray themselves as. Like, I wish like
Yeah.
like an insert character. Like, I wish I was this character. No, this guy tops that easily. He solos that category easily.
So you said they go back and forth. Like, is it like?
He
kinda
just
like
goes. It's like Narnia. He goes to a closet.
oh, so it's like Outbreak Company.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's a that's another show where it's like we found a magical world. Like the government found a magical world. It's like we need
Oh.
otaku to train them.
I understand Narnia. That was a good one.
Yeah, I figured you would.
I
Granted,
mean-
they don't go back. They don't go back in for a long time.
Maybe I'll.
He can go back any time.
Yeah.
Like he's got like a trip going on in the fantasy world, so he plans that during Golden Week. Then he goes back over to the real world. He's going on a freaking class trip.
Yeah.
By the way, the school he goes to is just ridiculous. It's everything is just over the top. Everything works in his favor perfectly. He saves like 3 girls from a burning mall perfectly by himself. He's just by the end of the show, if he's not banging all of them, it's because he's gay.
He's a gamer.
I'm gonna be honest. That's just
or,
what it
or he
is.
believes in monogamy.
Yeah. But anyway, that is our seasonal stuff plus some extra tangents. When we get back, we're going to be talking about Suzume. We're going to be going full on spoilers. So if you've not seen that movie, then be warned. If you don't care about spoilers, then I guess
Spoiler
Welcome then.
Strap in.
spoiler alert
Strap
to
in.
the discussion. I'm probably be like, I don't remember.
that's okay. We're going to take a break right now. So I
Yeah.
guess you could catch up during the break.
Yeah, let's.
We'll see you guys in just a bit. And we are back from our break, and now it is time to talk about Suzume. Honestly, it's a good show. I might have liked it better than Weathering with You.
I'd say it's more like. Might sound harsh for it, but I think it's more style over substance.
Oh,
but-
yeah, that's just Makoto Shinkai, though.
Yeah, but the substance is still watchable.
Still not
Like,
bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Initial thoughts, my sir?
Yeah, like it's incredible. Every frame in this entire film is just like, wow, gorgeous.
What's hilarious? Sorry to cut you off, but it's just hilarious how we typically go to, when we're talking about anime looking good, we say it looks like a movie. This one is a movie.
Yeah.
It's a movie.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's just awesome. Like, you can tell the difference between just a typical anime that gets a weekly release and a film, this one definitely is like the upper echelons of anime movies and how it looks. And also the music was really good. Like the presentation of this movie, really effing good. But I agree with Thane. The substance isn't bad. I like some of the overall themes, but this movie suffers from we've got some things going on, but we just want the happy ending. So we're going to just kind of yeet over to it.
I want to wait for Makoto Shinkai to put his writing skills into like some tragedy and we all cry.
I thought we might get that during this parts of this film where I was like, dang.
I knew like, oh, there's gonna be happy ending. They're trying to bait the audience. Like, is this how it's going to end? And it's like, no. This happened with
we want to get 10s.
It happened with
Metacritic.
Your Name, and it's gonna happen with this movie.
Not Rotten Tomato, I meant.
Yeah.
I'm happy Your Name ended in a happy ending, though.
Yeah.
I think that one deserved it. I
Yeah,
feel like this one
because-
could have gone either way, and I would have been fine either way.
Same.
I think like with Your Name, how it's gonna end. It's like, no, it can't end like that. That's messed up. That's too dark. But
Yeah,
it
it's
ended
just,
happy.
like,
It's,
Depressing.
even though in like the way it ended, it's like, that was a little.
left you a
odd.
little open.
Your
here.
Name has a much lighter tone though than this one. This one had a dark tone.
Yeah. Felt like a.
Like
well,
a horror
anyways,
film
I
at
think he
times.
should summarize it and then.
Yeah, let's get
Yeah.
into it. I'll summarize it really quick before we get into our nitty gritty thoughts. So, Suzume is a show about a girl named Suzume who goes on a adventure to shut doors that lead to a supernatural realm with the help of her chair friend. That was not a chair at the beginning of the movie.
This full-grown man sat in a chair.
What was his name again?
Chair.
Yeah.
Taki something.
His name wasn't in the title, so I couldn't remember.
Gosh. You got it, Thane.
Freak. Thane, calm down.
Yeah.
Gosh,
She said his
dang.
name so many times
Yeah.
too. I swear it started with the T.
Taiki.
No, that's
That's your name.
Yeah, that's your name.
Damn.
I'm gonna look it up. Go ahead though.
So the guy that became a chair, his is a normal job, I guess, his plan or whatever. What he was doing was shutting these doors to stop a big mass disaster of earthquakes and stuff. And he becomes a chair because
cat.
a cat named Daijin, which is actually one of the spirits, the gods that is causing these problems, turns him into a chair, decides to just do it all of a sudden. And so Suzume and the chair version of Sota go on an adventure to close even more doors.
And he can run great with 3 legs.
He's pretty good at running with
Yeah.
3 legs. But, I mean, we were pretty good at 2, so I'd imagine with
Yeah.
1 extra it wouldn't be that hard.
Yeah.
So that's essentially the gist of it. We do see a lot of like side stories here and there. Like there's one where they have where Suzume stays with a little family and helps them at their a karaoke bar essentially for a night, and then they go to a carnival-esque area and they do a door there, and they have some cute moments with the 2 leads. They go to Tokyo eventually, and then things happen and not in the way that everybody wanted. Sota becomes a lock for one of the doors that stops the demons,
In
not the
his chair
demons,
form.
the spiritual gods. And Suzume is all torn up about this because she feels like a lot of it's her fault. And it is. It definitely is a lot of it's her fault. She's the one that essentially awakened Daijin, the cat that they've been following around.
She got a little too curious.
Got a little too curious, and curiosity does, in fact, kill the cat.
Or the cat kills you in this case.
The cat kills you in this case. And so Suzume, in a last-ditch effort to save Sota, goes off to the original door that she went through as a kid, which was what let her see all of the doors and all of the calamity that was happening in their world. She does save Sota, and things are happy in the end. Did I miss anything important? They go to McDonald's at one point.
Oh yeah, and in the instance she had where she was a child and she was wandering, she saw a woman in a white coat.
Yep.
It was her.
Did we mention
It was
that
like a bootstrap paradox.
Yes.
Whatever you call it.
Okay. I'm glad that you brought up the word bootstrap because let's effing go. That's the best part of the movie right there. Is that bootstrap
Wait.
paradox.
I just gotta say, Mike, because it's really dumb.
Okay.
Did we mention that she sits on the chair?
Yeah, she sits on the chair.
Let's go.
She's too
Everybody
big for
wanted to be
chair.
that chair. Let's be honest.
She's too big for that chair.
She's in high school, sir.
Every high school boy wanted to be that chair.
What he says.
Anyway, the bootstrap
Then again, she's not real.
paradox. So yes, what Thane said. When she was a kid, she went through one of these doors to the spiritual realm, for the lack of a better term. And in that spiritual realm, she meets a woman who she assumes is her mom, because that's what she was looking for, was her mom, and that's why she ended up going through the door. She meets a woman. The woman gives her the chair, and they go on living like that. They go their separate ways. And at the very end of the movie, we find out that Suzume was that woman, giving herself the chair, thus making the bootstrap paradox.
Giving herself the chair.
Yes. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So
It's the wrestling term. Give him the chair.
the reason why I love this bootstrap paradox compared to other bootstraps that I'm not too popular and fan of,
12 Monkeys.
even Steins Gate Zero's got one that I'm not a huge fan of, but so the reason why this one works incredibly well is because the writers clearly know what they're doing. You can tell that Makoto Shinkai knew that this was a bootstrap paradox because Suzume is wearing boots, and the imagery of them focusing on her boots at least 5 to 10 times in that scene alone told me that, yes, he knows what he's doing, and he's being cheeky about it. Good job, Makoto Shinkai.
Yeah.
That scene alone bumped up the whole movie a number for me. It was probably sitting around a 7 or an 8, and it bumped up to an 8 or 9, literally because of that scene. Probably an 8, let's be honest. But I loved that scene. I literally wrote that in my notes, how excited about I was. I loved the imagery about it, and it was really just to poke fun of it. Like, they made it, maybe it wasn't that scene specifically, but they made an extra note to let you know that she was wearing these boots. Like, she wasn't wearing them the entire movie. Oh, I remember now. Sorry, it's been a couple weeks since we've seen it. It's Sota's boots that she put on. Remember when she was leaving Tokyo, she had no clothes or boots,
and it's also
whatever?
Sota's little like poncho jacket thing.
Yep. She puts on his boots specifically, and like they make emphasis that she put on the boots, and in the scene they do show the boots, so you know it's a bootstrap paradox.
Yeah.
It's effing clever, and I freaking love it. That's probably the thing I wanted to talk about most about in this movie. I've got complaints now. But before I get to my complaints, do you guys have any things that you would like to bring up as things you like?
I like. Well, I wrote in my notes. It said another hardcore scenery porno from Makoto.
No
Shinkai.
doubt. It's literally eye candy.
I think this movie, like, it rivals like Ghibli movies. Like, this is probably like.
Oh, I think it looks better than Ghibli. Ghibli's got their own art style. But
Makoto
me, I think
Shinkai's
that anyway.
art direction is like top notch. Probably the
Yeah.
best in any anime.
Yeah. Granted, what I said was subjective. If you like Ghibli better, that's fine too.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it.
And I think a lot of it. I've noticed a lot of it is CG, but it's like that CG where they like blended it so well. I think
Can't even tell.
Can't even tell.
I think Princess Mononoke, it used CG for the smoke monster, but they blended it with like 2D and like a 2D shell to it. And I think Makoto Shinkai does a lot. Also, all these are drawn on tablets. So
And
they
the
can,
freaking backgrounds
Yeah.
in this movie and
Also-
all of Makoto Shinkai's.
Also, it helps with the product placement. I saw when she was like alone, when like at the beginning when little Suzume was alone, her shoes had Converse logo on it, and a bunch of ads for like Japanese products and
McDonald's. It was a real McDonald's.
Real McDonald's.
Was it a McRonald's?
It was a real McDonald's sponsor because Makoto Shinkai did a McDonald's ad,
He did, yes. He did.
or at least Comics Wave did a McDonald's
company,
ad.
yeah. His,
Which pretty
animation
much
studio.
he's the only director there apparently, because I look at that filmography of Comics Wave and it's like Makoto Shinkai, but it's like, doesn't anyone else do anything?
He doesn't let them.
Yeah. It's like, I started this in my basement and I want to do every project. I want to lead every project.
Did you have anything else that you wanted to mention?
That you liked.
I like the cats. Well, not I don't know about the characters, but I liked how fluffy they look, especially like the big one that everyone's like, look, it's a cat and it's like big as a lynx. It's like nobody's gonna talk about the size.
Just shows up too
Yeah.
one day.
It's
In their
huge,
car.
big. Yeah, I liked some of the side characters, and I thought Suzume was a fine protagonist. I think she handled herself in a situation she didn't know about. She kind of figured everything out at the end. It's like, you did good,
You did good, kid.
but that's about for my likes.
Yeah, that was actually one thing I wanted to mention is I don't think there were characters that I disliked at all in this film. I think they were
They all serve their purpose.
yeah, and they were all fine, I guess.
Yeah, they didn't really have anything to draw me to them, but they weren't like
Stand out
bad
either.
characters.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. They were like average characters, I guess. I don't know. I really like the chair guy, I guess, but that's just
Yeah.
because he's a chair and it's funny.
It is pretty funny as a chair.
But the other thing that I really liked is just the themes. The two themes that I kind of picked from it is being yourself and learning to like being yourself and making your own decisions. But then also,
And also
trying
learning
to
how to close a gosh dang door.
yeah, and then also just trying to live your life to the fullest and do more. I really liked both of those themes, and they get mentioned, I think, mostly by Suzume. I'm trying to think if anyone else mentioned those themes because it was kind of like her mom was, or her not her mom, her aunt was like, "Hey, stop being fun, come home."
well, Saito, his whole thing is he wanted to do what he wanted to do, but he couldn't because of his obligations.
Yeah,
So it's a balance between things that you have to do and things that you want to do, and trying to find that balance in life anyway.
yeah, and both those characters portray that really well.
Yeah, totally.
That was, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of the major things that I really liked.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll go through my list of stuff that I picked out from the movie that I guess I disliked, and feel free to jump in if you've got correlating things. So, the first thing I wanted to bring up is how I did not like Daijin, the cat. Literally,
He has like a child's voice. I didn't like that. Like, why does he have a child's voice?
because it's a cat.
Well, yeah, I know, but like usually they have like either just grown women or some guy voice him. But like he's like,
His motives were very difficult to
yeah.
understand.
Also, one thing like about the voice acting is whatever child voice actor, like they reused the Suzume.
Yeah, they
Voice.
just reused it over and over.
Yeah, because like I thinking they couldn't get the kid to stay and voice it for very long.
yeah.
Kind of like with Monsters Inc., where they couldn't get the child
Boo.
actors for Boo to like stay in the booth, so they just follow around with a recording mic.
So I don't like Daijin. I mean,
He's more like the antagonist.
he's the antagonist of the
Yeah.
movie, more or less, and that's the kind of the role that he plays.
He's kind of like Quebi from Madoka Magica, but not as evil, I guess.
The reason I especially didn't like Daijin is because Suzume at the end liked Daijin, and that felt undeserved, completely undeserved. The entire movie, she
You bad
hates this
kitty.
cat, absolutely hates it, going after it the entire time, telling it how much she hates it.
And when she said she hated it, he's like, "You don't like me." It's like, "Yeah, we don't like you. Are you serious?"
Puts us on a rat race.
And then when it finally, like, I guess, like, sacrifices itself essentially for her, she's all crying for it. I'm like, why are you crying for it? You hated this
It
thing.
just feels like there was a scene missing where it's like,
It feels like there's
like,
something missing.
yeah, where it's like they bonded. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
totally.
You just wanted someone to love.
There really wasn't
Yeah.
really wasn't a development for that relationship, and it felt forced and fake.
The only thing I can think of was when she found out that he was leading her in the chair to all of the different doors.
Yeah, but like, still, you'd have to turn the dude into a chair.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying though is like I didn't really understand the cat's
He
motives.
got jealous. He was a simp for Suzume.
Simp for
Yeah.
Susan.
But it was like, yeah, why did he turn him into the
Yeah.
chair? Why not just say, "Hey, follow me. I'm going to take you to all
Like
these
that
doors."
that concept they had with the chair. It's like, oh, we got a girl and her chair. Got to figure out how to weave the chair in.
We're just gonna take the guy in the chair and mash him together.
Yeah. Other than that, it's kind of unnecessary to turn him into a chair.
And then speaking of the chair and Saito specifically,
Other than to handicap Saito because
he would have been OP
knowledge.
the entire time. Yeah. I felt like Suzume and Saito's relationship didn't make sense either.
It developed very fast.
Yeah.
Way too quickly. Like
even when they were mostly together with like the chair and part, it's felt like they didn't really bond.
the good moments they had between each other felt also undeserved, just like with Daijin, because they didn't do anything to build up to those moments. They just had the moments. There wasn't a subtle, oh wow, things worked out because we worked together kind of thing. It was just, all right, I'm gonna sit on you.
I like you now.
I like you now. Let's sit.
Yeah, we spent a couple days together. You've been a chair all of that time. I like you.
Yeah,
Be
and
lucky.
so
Be lucky. You're the only guy I'm gonna sit on their face.
and with that, like, because like of this like quick relationship, it felt also unrealistic how much you'd be willing to change her life for him at the very end to go after him. Because, like, in my mind, you knew him for 3 or 4 days, and you didn't actually know him as a person. He was just a chair, like you were saying. So I don't know. It felt weird. Didn't feel great. Didn't feel natural. Did not like that as much.
See, I think one thing that could have helped that whole story, like, plot point, could have been showing us more of Suzume's backstory of, like, how boring is her life? Because she just wants to be adventurous.
She wants something new.
Yeah, she wants something new, but
Get away from the mundane. But we don't get to see the day.
no, we don't get to see the mundane.
We
so
got close, but then I got caught up because Saito showed up.
yeah.
Yeah, if we would have got to see one day or something, it probably would have been that much better. The last thing that I wanted to bring up as a thing I did not like was just that the pacing of the movie itself was rough at times. Sometimes it seemed like
feeling the movie was a bit too long.
yeah. Sometimes it felt like it slowed down to a halt, and other times it felt like it was going a million miles an hour. And then the pseudo climax in Tokyo, for it to not be the actual climax of the movie, felt weird. It felt like that they intended that to be the end of the movie at one point, but then they decided not to and to added more. Just like what Thane was saying, it felt a little bit too long as a result. Granted, it wasn't. It was only an hour and a half. So it was still a decent length.
I guess because the pacing was...
Because of the pacing,
Yeah.
100%. Yes, that's
kind of
why.
like the ending of The Lord of the Rings, where it's like it has a million endings and it kind of kills the pacing. Like it's like, oh, okay,
yeah, but that's a little different because that's like a
Yeah.
trilogy, right? This
Yeah.
is one movie and their pacing is that like that, and it's weird. It really feels like you're watching 3 to 4 episodes of an anime, but it's smashed into one. I don't know. It was strange.
Yeah.
Like every single door was like its own arc, and as soon as they closed the door, the whole movie slowed down to like a halt.
And that's one thing I want to bring up. I guess one of the negatives or one of the observations I had is that this series felt like it wanted to be more like a 13 episode anime rather
Yes.
than a movie.
I agree.
Because like every like 10 minutes she's closing another door. It's like,
Yep.
oh, this feels just like this feels like a summary of a TV anime.
Yep, this would have worked a lot better
Yeah.
as a TV anime, I think.
I
as
wonder
well.
if it was, but he's like, oh, I gotta make another movie. Like
Maybe.
people are expecting a movie, and they're not expecting a TV show.
It could have worked incredibly well as
Yeah.
one, I thought.
Yeah, and the last thing that I just wanted to bring up goes along with the pacing, is I felt like the grandpa shows up, right? Because that's kind of the turning point where it's like, okay, well, Soda's gone. Now what? His grandpa shows up with Suzume for like 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden that changes the fate of the rest of the show.
The grandpa said, "No, don't even do anything."
Yeah, literally.
He's
Grandpa's
like, "I'm
like,
gonna do it."
the grandpa's like, don't bother. That's his destiny or whatever. And then we hear from Daijin the cat. He's like, you can't fix it. This is it. It is what it is. Like, he's now the key.
Yeah.
And then he's not the key anymore at the end. There's no reason or rhyme.
It's
It's
just some random cat that shows up.
yeah. But and that was another thing where the
Yeah,
black cat possessed the ant at one point, and it's like that never gets explored anymore. What the freak was that?
Yeah, it was a confusing scene. I thought Daijin was possessing her.
It was like
yeah.
possessing her to say her actual thoughts at times.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool, but they didn't have explanations for it.
Yeah, and that's
That was out of left field, that scene. It's like, why is
cool
this...
thing to explore.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and that was another one of my complaints. Is there's lots of elements that they introduced that
Didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, they didn't go anywhere. They didn't even need to be in there, in my
Like,
opinion.
fizzled.
Yeah.
That I think goes back to what Thane was saying. If it was a 13, 12 episode long anime, it would have been a lot better for pacing wise, and even the story could have excelled.
Yeah.
I feel like this plot it works at times, but it needs a few more threads to really flesh it out, and maybe a longer running time. Like I think with the name recognition, he could make like even a 3-hour film. People will go see it, but
It might have been two. Now that I'm thinking about it, though.
yeah, it might
Not
be
an hour and a half, it
2
might have
I
been
hours.
felt like it was
Yeah.
a little bit longer.
I was thinking Mario. Mario was an hour and a half. I
Yeah.
think this was 2.
Yeah, Mario
Mario's
had
like on freaking crack.
Mario had Zoomer editing, and it's like you could have made that one 2 hours. People still would have gone and seen it.
Yeah.
Some of the best Disney movies are like 2 hours long.
So, final thoughts on Suzume. I enjoyed it. I'm glad we went. I'm very
it's a
happy.
fun movie.
I'm very happy we got to see it in the
It's-
theaters.
It's if you think about it too much, you might not like it as much. But if you like
Totally.
think about like the
It's very
journey,
surface level.
if you think about the journey and like all like the beautiful scenery and like
Yep.
kind of like the surface lore of the monsters, it's
Totally.
a pretty fun show.
Yeah, I 100% agree with what they said. I concur.
It's worth
completely.
watching once. It's inoffensive enough to like watch once, but like some people like expecting like a super masterpiece from Makoto Shinkai, you might be disappointed.
I was sad they didn't have any ties to Weathering with You or Your Name that I could see anyway. Like Weathering with You literally had one of the characters show up and you're like,
If-
oh shoot, that's that character.
If it had ties to Weathering with You, Tokyo would be flooded. Actually, spoils to Weathering with You, but
Yeah, but
Yeah, overall I think I gave it an 8. I think
Yeah,
is what I gave it.
that's
I
what I'd
think
give
it's
it
really
to.
hard to do ties to Weathering with You because then they have to mention, Tokyo was flooded.
Well, I mean, Weathering with You
Yeah.
tied to Your Name for half a second there
Yeah.
too, but I don't know. I just would have liked to see the worlds connected because that's what it seemed like he was going for at one point. But I don't know. Maybe he
Didn't we
scrapped it.
see a red ribbon at one point?
Yeah, that doesn't mean it's a tie
Yeah.
though.
No,
Like, it's not
it's
like
just
a- hey, that's
just
a
like
character.
that's like a
It's just like a
Japanese
callback.
general symbolism for Red String of Fate.
Yeah, like connecting people and
Yeah.
stuff.
That makes sense.
But anyway, that is the show. I guess one final thing before our camera dies is so this was also supposed to be an interpretation of all of the earthquakes that happened in 2011 to like 12 in Japan.
Yeah.
So a lot of that
Yeah.
was like it was like an interpretation.
Is that where
That's
it's
why
set?
the
Is that what
worms like
time-
fall.
Is
and-
that what time it's set in?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So interesting to side note. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Next time we come back, I believe we will be doing our anime season review of the spring season. So look forward to that. We're gonna be talking about our favorite shows, our favorite dumpies, our favorite girls, our favorite boys, our favorite openings,
Trash.
our favorite trash, all of the things that you guys love to see. We'll be wearing our typical weeb anime clothing with our Jeff Keighley jackets on, all the things you come to love. One of these days,
I'm
we'll
gonna buy a shirt online.
have a champagne glass and with hookers and blackjack.
Yeah,
just
we're
like
gonna
in
throw,
Futurama.
We're gonna throw a
And
curveball.
blowjob. Never mind.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching or listening to the show. We appreciate you guys for getting here to the end. Look forward to the next episode, and we will see you then.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.